Hello, Aurelia Davis, the educator's educator, coming to you on a Tuesday afternoon and just wanting to say hello to everybody and see how everyone is doing, how you're faring. Teachers, you have basically got to the end of the road, I'm believing. I do believe that there's a few more weeks for some schools, especially in Chicago. I think they get out around the first part of June. But in the meantime, the rest of you that have made it, congratulations. Congratulations to the teachers. Congratulations to the students. Congratulations to the parents. And any congratulations to school staff, all of the support staff, everybody that played a part in educating our children. I congratulate you and I applaud you. Thank you so much for your service for this year. Anyway, if you have not gone over to my website, aureliadavis.com, feel free to go over to aureliadavis.com and see some of the offerings that I have for you. The STEM cards, we still have the STEM cards in place. There they are right there. And we are still taking people that are interested in the Thrive Retreat. Click on the Thrive Retreat and see exactly what's being offered in that. That's supposed to be taking place July 30th through August 4th in Tulum, Mexico. So if you have not clicked on it just to see what it looks like, feel free to do so over at aureliadavis.com. Um, I titled this particular live, My Summer Vacation. Now, when you think about summer vacation, you remember that question we used to ask our students when they would come back in September? What did you do with your summer vacation? What did you do for your summer vacation? And that would be a composition that we would give our children immediately. And sometimes we would give it to them just to keep them busy. But we always ask that question, what did you do for your summer vacation? Well, that is not only a question for our students, but it's also a good question for teachers. What did you do, or what will you do? You're getting ready to go into it. What does it look like for our teachers? And I would anticipate summer vacation. Of course, I started anticipating it in May. Just to see what I was going to do. I will make plans of doing all kinds of things. And I have always been very artistic and craftsy. So oh my goodness, sewing and knitting and crocheting and making bracelets and beading and what else? Reading, of course, reading. And eventually I started to plan for the books that I was going to write. And then after I did retire, I did write 2 books and I got a third one coming out. Hopefully it'll be out soon. But at the same time, that summer vacation for my students was also a summer vacation for me because I wanted to do and basically go back into the passions that I loved as a human being. And it was also very important because what I needed to do was to keep my mind active when I was not in the classroom. Now keeping your mind active and relaxing are basically two different things. And they sort of go together. You can keep your mind active, but at the same time, you can very, very much relax your mind and relax your body at the same time, which is what Thrive Retreat is going to do. So at the same time, I thought about all of the things that I love to do and things that I was not able to do during the time when I was teaching from September to June. So I would just go back into just making a list of the things I would like to accomplish within those 2 months when I was not teaching school. Those 2 months when I was not teaching school. Those included reading and sewing and crocheting or needlepoint, all of those things, anything to keep my hands active, anything to keep my brain active, anything to keep my thoughts active. I just wanted to stay in that mindset of just being active so that when I went back to school in September, I would be ready for my children. I would be ready for my children. And it worked year after year after year. It worked. Well, not too long after I retired, I found out that there were just so many other different things that I could basically involve myself into, and especially with the use of technology, the internet and Facebook and so forth. I just found so many things online that I could do. So of course I signed up for Audible. I love Audible. Audible comes out of Amazon and basically where you can download books to hear them. I love reading books, but at the same time, while I'm driving, to just hear a good story is very, very, very refreshing. I started taking classes in a platform called Domestika. Domestika. And Domestika is a platform on the internet that sort of gives you classes a galore. I mean, just a little bit of everything from crafts to studying to writing, music, just you name it, they do it, and so on and so forth. So Domestika is a good platform to just take classes. And the good thing about these classes is that they're no more than about $5, $5.99 or whatever. And then through Domestika, there's another platform called Skillshare, where you can also take classes. And the good thing about the classes is that you can sort of pace yourself through these classes to the point where you don't have to just sit there and look at it like that, but you can sort of pace yourself, pick up the class on Monday, then take another class on, like, pick up the same class like on the rest of the week. But and so I have about 6 or 7 or 12 classes under my belt. And once you purchase the classes, they stay in your coursework so that you can always go back and just get some more skills out of a particular class. So that's another thing that I started taking classes online. Well, I also found out that after I retired, something I get more into to keep my mind stimulated, to keep my hands busy, needlepoint. I did some needlepoint. I don't know if I have anything to show you, but I have did a lot of needlepoint, which I think is very good. And that concentrating of those fine motor skills, which is something that's very important for us to keep working, is very good also. And then, of course, I started going to I was involved in a book club, and this is one of the books. It's called In the Lives of Puppets, that I'm going to be reading by T.J. Klune. I don't remember, mess that nice name up. But anyway, this is a real good thing. And the thick of the books is, I love thick books. Oh my goodness. And I'm talking about an avid reader. I have always been an avid reader. Then I picked up this real interesting skill and craft. And I started making these. This is oh my goodness. I wonder if you can see it. Let me see if I can expand my screen. Oh yeah, there I go right there. Okay. So this is we call it a bookend. It's a bookend, but inside of this bookend, let me see if I can tap it. I'm going to take take this off. This basically keeps it, the dust cover, but basically, okay, let me see. It lights up inside, and you can basically, everything in this particular box I put together. Oh my goodness, talking about the fine uniqueness of just putting together the desk and the chair. And if you can just look closer and whatever, I did all of that. This is a project that takes, I would say it takes quite a bit of time, but once you get involved in it, you want to see the completed project. So you just keep working at it. You just keep working with it and whatever. So I have taken on this. And of course I have too many to name, but I enjoy it because it keeps my mind active. And I think that if I was still in class, if I still had students, I probably would share something like that with them. So it comes down to the point where you are basically keeping yourself busy, you're keeping yourself active, you're keeping your brain active, because you need an active brain to work with children. You need to be on point. You need to be able to think on your feet. You need to be able to think at a drop of a hat. So as you go into your summer, if you have a fantastic vacation plan, do that too. That's very relaxing. But at the same time, whatever you're visiting, take notes and see if it would be something that you would like to share with your students when you go back in September, and tell them, say, oh, I went to Mexico and I saw this and I saw that and I studied the culture, because that's what I do when I travel. I usually like to delve into the culture of where I'm visiting. And and I found out by delving into those cultures, where you're visiting, or the history of where you're visiting, you can easily take that back and make it into a lesson in your classroom, And I can believe of a lot of times when I've traveled to like out of country or whatever, I would just take notes and take pictures. And then when I go back into the classroom in September, I would just share all of the those things with my students. And before you know it, you've built a whole curriculum. You've built a curriculum that you can take back to your students. And a lot of times, I remember one time after I had visited a particular country, my children, one of my students came back the following year and said that they visited the country too. And they were able to go to some of the places where I went. So that just made me, I just got a thrill out of that to know that you're teaching everything. Every teaching takes place all the time. Teaching takes place all the time. So you just want to keep that motor running, and that just like that Energizer bunny, you want that to just keep on happening. So this is Aurelia Davis coming to you another time on during the week, and just hope everybody's having a great one. Teachers, I applaud you. You've gotten through. Congratulations on having a fantastic year and teaching those students. Keep teaching. This is Aurelia Davis. Take care.